against a man that goes in at just under 300 pounds, Butch Branigan. And I apparently did more than just somewhat upset one Mr. Ole Anderson, but those were the exact words that I were told from Georgia Championship Wrestling and Paul Jones and, of course, the NWA.
Well, you know, Mr. Soli, one thing about it is that Georgia Championship Wrestling does put a strict law down, and they do make wrestlers abide by the law, and it serves when you've got great competition like this. You must have rules and regulations, and they must be enforced. But when you're talking about stripping men of the world's tag team title, you're talking about taking an awful lot of bread and butter from them, which makes men vicious. When you sneak in there and steal money from somebody, and that's just what you're doing and taking the titles away, you're making them vicious. And I wouldn't want to be accounted for what you just done, Mr. Soli. Although it's not you, I understand that it's the NWA and the rules we must abide by.
Well, there's certainly no question about that, and that's exactly the way it's going to be. Good takedown by Garvin. Garvin has Branigan to the canvas. Garvin now punishing the leg and the ankle. Good float around, and it is Garvin keeping the pressure on Branigan, cutting off that circulation to the right leg by trapping the left leg inside on the hollow of the knee.
And it's interesting, you know, Mr. Soli, people must be listening to us, because when we talked a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a man that was maybe a foot taller, half a foot taller than you, and what you got to do with him is go for the legs. And what is this young man doing? He's going for the legs and taking the legs out from under him. Fantastic, good wrestling. You must be listening, Mr. Garvin.
And, of course, once they're down on the mat, as you well know, everybody's about the same size.
Absolutely correct, Mr. Soli. They're all the same size when they're down, right?
Good shoulder smash by Branigan. Garvin ducks away that time. Drop toe, well executed. And so Branigan feels the sting of that canvas on his chest again. And Garvin again ties up the legs, has the left hooked in the hollow of the right and puts the pressure on.
Now, let's talk about the other side of the coin here. Now, what Branigan would have to do, when you've got a man that is a little shorter, stockier, with low gravity, good balance built to the ground, what do you do with a man like that?
Well, it's an excellent point. And with Garvin, of course, Branigan apparently was trying some head hunting earlier, trying to take away some of that mobility, and now he just did it again. Caught him with a knee to the side of the head, and now another percussion to the side of the jaw. So Branigan apparently feels that his best forte in this particular point is going to be after the head.
Absolutely. Now, another thing, I'll tell you what Branigan should do, and it's a classic example. It's like when Ali fought Frazier being the star. What you must do with someone built low to the ground, especially in wrestling, is go for the midsection, because you don't try to move a stocky, low-gravitated man. Look at this Garvin come on. What you try to do is take the wind away from him, go for the stomach, consequently ruining the stamina.
Good snap there by Garvin into a lateral press. Branigan powered him off, and Garvin right back now with a rear chin lock. And so Branigan now is going to have to reevaluate his methodology, his attack, and try to figure a way to get Branigan, as big and powerful as he is, down on the mat and keep those shoulders down for a count of 3.
And this young fella, what an agile wrestler. I think one of his best attributes, and you watch right now, his balance. Look at the balance he's got. Fantastic moves. Fantastic moves. Look at, sits up, pancakes out, putting all the weight he can on the head, driving the man's head down on the mat, gives him a chance to think and get position. Very good wrestling, Mr. Garvin.
And with a front chance right now, and look at Branigan trying to hook with the leg now. If he can hook inside of that leg, and he could not, it was Garvin getting a momentary advantage, and Branigan, utilizing his weight, was able to get the forward roll away from Garvin and brought him around, but Garvin slips away and both men back on their feet.
Yes, a superb contest here. I think possibly Garvin in a touch better shape himself. I think working a little harder. Now Branigan getting a little rough house here, which is good. Not the win of that young fella. That'll get some aggression.
Forearm across the back once again, catching him across the shoulder blades. Now a forearm into the upper chest of Jim Garvin. Good, drops a knee in. And Branigan trying to dominate the situation as Garvin. 2 into the rib cage, another one now, and now Garvin exploding with lefts and rights, and Branigan rips across the eyes, but missed his target, and so Garvin has the side headlock. Branigan fires him off. Garvin catches him, a good shoulder smash. Branigan slow to come up this time. Yes. Slow to come up.
Starting to wear on Branigan, isn't he? He's starting to get a little slower. This Garvin, oh, tremendous blow there.
Got him with a beautiful forearm. Down a 3, and that was all she wrote. We might be able to get another look at that, and you can see exactly what we're talking about as Garvin came off those ropes. Cocked that. Now watch him carefully as Garvin brings him up. Now Garvin. Arm whips out. Now watch him set himself. Delivered that forearm with great effectiveness right into the side of the jaw of one Butch Branigan. Drove him to the canvas.